A rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beauty a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful.
Hello, welcome to one of my favorite times of the year. MLB season is upon us. In 9 days, we start opening day. Spring training is winding down. You know I love this time of year. You know I love it for betting. You know I love it for everything. I love being able to watch the Braves every night, or any team at that. Um, Welcome to the studio. Welcome to Out of Bounds podcast. Kind of jumped on one and ran right there. Welcome, Mr. Bragg.
Yeah. MLB, I miss it. You know,
Miss it.
yeah, I actually do. I think there's a lot of cool storylines to look ahead to this year, and it's just been a while since baseball has been around. Like, yeah, we've had the World Baseball Classic as kind of like a tease to the MLB,
Get me there. Yeah.
but not it's just not Major League Baseball. So, but I'm excited
Right.
for it to be back, of course.
And I feel like for me, and this is going to sound like a terrible baseball fan, but last year, my season of baseball ended on such a disgusting note as the Braves got, beat in 4 games by the Phillies. Uh, the Braves had 15 guys that had the flu apparently during that series. So, I mean, just to play 162 to win 1 game in the playoffs after going as far as winning the World Series the year before, just a really bad taste in my mouth. So I'm excited for a new season. We are without Dansby and Freddie for the first time since forever. So it is bittersweet. Also without the play-by-play announcer that has been play-by-playing ever since I can remember, 2006. So that's the probably the first.
Jeff Francoeur?
No. Chip Carey. Yeah. He went to St. Louis to be the Cardinals play-by-play guy. It's where his dad started, so kind of a backstory right there. But today we have the AL West division predictions and projections. We got their expected win totals. We're going to go over under that. Do not tell or tell at your own risk if you want to bet on that. We're going to be going over the acquisitions from every team, starting with the lowest to the highest. I don't know how you feel about the teams, so I'm just going to go based off how I feel about them.
Well,
We'll just go.
Okay, I have them right here. I can tell you what it is. I think I'll tell you what it is. You give me, the overview of all the moves they made, and then we say if we think it'll be over or under.
Okay, let's go lowest to highest. Obviously, we know who the lowest is going to be.
So our lowest is Oakland, of course, at 59.5 wins.
Okay.
And
Oakland.
Yeah.
Oakland is obviously, we know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get out of Oakland. As sad as it is, they're trying to get shipped to a different town. They don't, that's how that is. It's just part of the game. So they traded AJ Puck, former top prospect, for JJ Bleday from the Marlins, Vanderbilt guy, 4th pick in the draft just a few years ago. So the A's did get him. That's one guy they picked up in the off season.
Do you know if he's going to be on a major league roster? Because he was playing for Miami last year, was he not?
He was.
Okay, so he will be. Should be.
He should be. The A's, they're trying their best to get out of Oakland. So I could see a spot where he doesn't play in the majors at all. So, but I hope he does, because I think he got a little taste of it last year. Did not go well for him. Which that happens. I mean, he's a rookie. Not all rookies jump from the start. Mitch Moreland retired in the offseason. Didn't even know he was with them. Eric Thames was with them apparently. Retired in the offseason. Jesus Aguilar, they did sign him for a year. Bring a little fun to that boring baseball community they have. And what's sad is the A's fans are really passionate. They're just they don't want to build a team. So Ramon Laureano, they signed him back. Avoided arbitration. Paul Blackburn avoided arbitration. Tony Kemp, they avoided he's somehow still with arbitration. Um, that's really all the signings. Sheldon News signed to play in Japan, left. Ernie Clement down to the minors. They did sign Trevor May, bullpen piece. Um, Jace Peterson, they signed him for 2 years. Manny Pena. Oh, they did make a trade. They traded who's leaving? Sean Murphy, headed to Atlanta. In
Mm.
a, I'm happy about that. But for Oakland, kind of got screwed out of that one. They did get Freddie Tarnok, one of the top pitchers in the Braves. This was a 3-team deal with Milwaukee, in Atlanta. They did get Freddie Tarnok, the top pitching prospect for the Braves. They got Manny Pena in that deal, and they got Kyle Muller, another top prospect from the Braves. So, not bad there, for them. And so, as we mentioned, Sean Murphy is gone. Cole Irvin is going to Baltimore. He did get traded. Um, Esteury Ruiz is also gone, but they have about the same team they had last year. What are we doing, Oakland? And I'm going under right here. I have them projected as 56 and 106. I think they make a run for one of the worst teams in the history of baseball. Not because their roster should be that bad, but injuries happen. And when you have to go play at that field every day, as trashy as it is, as just underwhelming the conditions are of the area, that can really take a toll on players. I think they trade some of these guys at the deadline, and I think they're going to be the worst team in the MLB this year. That's my honest prediction.
Yeah, from everything you said, it sounds like a team that was already bad just got a lot worse. Guys like Sean Murphy, who was one of their better players last year, Cole Irvin, one of their better pitchers last year. They got Trevor May, which how much is a bullpen guy really going to do to help? You know, so I'm going to also go under. I'll give them like 52, 53. What's the lowest of all time? Like, what's the worst record ever?
I think I know it, but I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'll give them 53.
I know there was a time that the Orioles won 47. So, okay, well, they're not going to be the worst because 18, but that's not modern era. If I can get modern era, please. The I guess New York Mets would have the worst at 40 and 20, 1962. They won't, or 40 and 120. Sorry, I messed that up. But that's the lowest of the teams that we have nowadays. So of course it would be the Mets. Sorry, that was a shot in the dark. But anyways, I don't know that they're that bad because 40 and 120 is horrible unless they just completely just quit.
Yeah, they won't be that bad, I don't think. But I would see them getting about mid 50s, nothing higher.
Right.
You want to just go to the next team?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, there's not much to talk about as far as that goes.
We have there's two teams tied. We have the LA Angels and the Texas Rangers, both at 81 and a half.
Okay.
So we can talk about LA first.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Angels first. Los Angeles Angels. I mean, we're kind of at the same spot we've been. We have Ohtani, we have Trout. What are we doing to help them? Because you got Trout.
Rendon?
They do, but he has been injury plagued and has just not been good. For them. But I feel like the Angels sign guys that just they expect to be something they did. Okay, I'll go over their transaction. Picked up Brandon Drury on a 2-year contract as long as he's as good as he was last year. Nice pickup. Carlos Estevez, right-handed pitcher. They did trade Jansen Junk. What a great name. They traded Jansen Junk, Elvis Peguero, and Adam Seminaris to the Brewers for Hunter Renfroe. So add to that outfield depth, some pop in the lineup, a good 5-hitter. They acquired Gio Urshela from the Twins. So not a bad pickup on the infield. They designated Tuki Toussaint for assignment. So I think he'll still be there. I think they're bringing him back. Um, Archie Bradley, Matt Duffy, Michael Lorenzen, and Kurt Suzuki all elected free agency. I think Kurt Suzuki retired. Um, so that is all the moves that they made.
Okay.
Like we said, Brandon Drury and Hunter Renfro and Gio Urshela are the three big guys they picked up in the offseason. I don't see anybody else that really, sparks some talk. So I'm gonna say that this is a big year for the Angels because if they can stick around 500 to the All-Star break, I think they try to trade for some guys and to try to keep Shohei around because next offseason Shohei's free agency year. So if you want to bring him back, you're going to have to bring in some guys. I don't think they're going to be able to bring him back. I don't think they're going to bring in any guys. I think they're going to stick around what they've been. I have them going 75 and 87, which is generous, I feel like. So I'm going under on the 81.5.
That's wild, in my opinion.
Well,
I think this Angels
do
team.
you know what the Rangers did this offseason? That's why. Go ahead.
What was the Angels' record last year? Can you put it up for me?
Yes, I can. 2022 Angels. $73 and 89.
Okay. I'm gonna go over, not by much. I'm gonna give them 83 wins. So what was
Did they
that
get a
by?
wild card spot?
83 and 79. Wild card.
There's 3 teams in the wild card now, so it's gonna be
Mm,
close. You got to think about the AL East is gonna have 3 spots.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they don't. No.
And they play a whole schedule. There's no more playing division opponents 19 times. They play them 12 times, and they play everybody in the MLB.
Yeah, I'm gonna go no. They don't get a wild card, but they do go 83 and 79 to me.
Okay, I like it. It's close. That's one of those that could go either way. I just based off their recent success, I don't like it. I don't like them. What they're doing over there. So I'm gonna say they go under, but that's just my opinion. Next up is the Rangers. Texas Rangers, have yourself an offseason, baby. Obviously they signed Jacob deGrom, the biggest of huge for them. Because pitching was their downfall last year. They did have some guys that came on.
Who's their best pitcher? Kyle Gibson?
Martin Perez. Kyle Gibson wasn't there last year.
He wasn't?
He was traded the deadline, or he got traded at deadline to the Phillies. They had John Gray. So in this all season, they traded. Let's go back. I'm trying to go back to the winner. They agree. Okay, yeah, we'll start off with the deGrom. The deGrom was the big one. They did trade for Jake Odorizzi from the Braves. They traded Nick Solak to Cincinnati just to get rid of some guys. And then they traded, or they picked up Martin Perez, or they re-signed him. Excuse me. They traded Eli White to the Braves. And then, of course, they agreed to terms with Jacob deGrom on a 5-year contract, taking him to the age 40 season. They picked up Andrew Heaney. Really boosting the staff is what was their biggest thing this offseason. They picked up Nathan Eovaldi. So 3 guys that can go out and get you wins. Eovaldi kind of struggled his last few years in Boston, but showed signs of being an ace still at times. Jacob DeGrom, you know what he can do as long as he stays healthy. That's the biggest thing for their season to me. If DeGrom stays healthy, I think they have a chance to be very talented. But if DeGrom gets hurt, I don't. So you're looking at a starting staff of DeGrom, Martin Perez, Andrew Heaney, Nathan Eovaldi, and then John Gray. So
Jake Odorizzi.
Odorizzi at the 6. I mean, he could be competing with John Gray for that 5 spot. But I like John Gray better because that's my brother. But anyway, Rangers, how good can you be? I think this is a big year for that. I think after this season, they may make a run at Ohtani. I don't know that they have the money to do that with the money that they paid Seager and Semien last year. But they showed signs last year of being a very good ball club, and I think they can show them signs again. But I do have them at a record of 80 and 82, so I have them going under 81.5. Not very. I'm not high on the AL West. I'm gonna be honest. I am of the first 2 teams, but I have them finishing 3rd in front of the Angels, 5 wins above the Angels, but I have them at 80 and 82.
Really? So you have Texas going under as well?
I do 3 unders.
Okay,
right
what was their record last year? Run me.
They were worse than the Angels last year.
Run it to me.
They went 68 and 94.
68.
Can DeGrom?
Did they
Can
get
those 4 guys?
14 wins better? Do they get 14 wins better?
I don't think Delano got 14 wins better.
The lineup got worse. Losing Solak. Solak was a decent guy in their lineup. Eli White had his moments.
Adolis Garcia can be a guy. Still have Seager and Semien. Semien can come on a little more than he did last year. Josh Young, big prospect if he turns into who he's supposed to be. Josh White, I believe is his name. Really good prospect, could turn in. Nathaniel Lowe, Silver Slugger Award winner last year. Jonah Heim behind the plate, behind the dish, along with Mitch Garver still. I'm
gonna go under, but literally like on the dot. I'm gonna give them 81 wins. 81 and 81.
So you're bigger on the Angels than the Rangers?
Slightly.
Okay.
Because the Rangers still, they have a lot. Their pitching kind of worries me in the sense that it's a lot of older guys who we could kind of see regression from. Yes, they have DeGrom. If DeGrom stays healthy, I think they can get 80, 85 wins. But his health has been a concern for a while. So I don't know. I don't think it changes now. I'm gonna go slightly under though.
If he's that dominant ace that can go out every 5 days and get you a chance to win, can I see them going over? Yes. Is he going to be healthy enough to do that? Based on his career, I hope he is. But based on his career, I don't see it happening because he's going to have that oblique. He's going to have that.
Yeah. When is the last time he's been healthy for a whole year? It's been a while.
I think it was the season the Mets played for in 2016. I think that was the last time he was healthy, and I don't know that he was healthy that season. So, I mean, really, really based off of DeGrom, honestly. I mean, you can replace a Andrew Heaney for a few weeks. You can replace a Eovaldi for a few weeks. You can't replace a DeGrom, especially at the price that he is at. And you can't trade him for that price. So, need him to be healthy. If he's healthy, can they be a wild card ball club? Sure. Do you want to face them guys in the playoffs with them pitchers and them hot at the plate? Probably not. But do they put themselves in a position to get in there over these AL East teams? Not a chance. And I still think they're better than some of the Central teams. I would argue they're one would be the best team in the AL
I was
Central.
going to say, I could see them winning it in the
but they're not in the AL Central, and the AL East is so good that I don't know that there's a spot left for any of these divisions in the wild card. So they're going 80 and 82 for me. Just because it's going to hurt them having to play the whole MLB, because you got to think they play the Mets, they'll play the Braves, they'll play the Padres, they'll play the Phillies. I mean, you got to think about all of them teams they're going to have to play. And some of those teams hit the ground better than others. So, I mean, It's going to be based off DeGrom. I'll say that. Next team is, I'm guessing, the Mariners.
Seattle at 86.5. I like it.
Okay. Seattle Mariners transactions. Was it a good offseason? Let's judge that. Starting in 2022, last year, the Seattle Mariners made the playoffs, and won the wild card. They beat the Blue Jays. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that. In a shock because I picked Toronto.
Right. The Mariners went 90-72 last year. Very good season. Very good season. I don't know how much better they get than that. I will give.
I also will say I think they exceeded expectations.
I do too.
For sure.
I agree. In the off season, let's start. They Carlos Santana is gone. They acquired Teoscar Hernandez from Toronto in exchange for Eric Swanson and Adam Macko. Kyle Lewis got traded from them. From Cooper Hummel from Arizona. They tendered some contracts, yada yada yada, and then they acquired Colton Wong. They traded Jesse Winker and Abraham Toro for Colton Wong and cash considerations. The GOAT Jesse Winker will no longer be in Seattle. He will be in Brewer country. Seattle Mariners, you kind of disappointed me in the offseason. This is my problem with the Mariners. I know they have some young guys, and I know they did. I'm forgetting about Castillo. They did trade for Castillo at the deadline. He was very dominant. He is going to be their ace. They have Robbie Ray, 2 years ago Cy Young. So not far from that. If he can return back to that form that he was in Toronto, that we did not really see last year. George Kirby's come along. Just still worried about their staff pitching wise. Do I think they can win this division? Yes, 100 times. I think they're going to be in the run for it, but I think the Astros' experience will get them over that. I have the Mariners at 92 and 70. I think they get better than they were last year. I think they go over their win total, but I don't think they win the division. I have them coming in second in the division.
I think they are going to come in second. I don't have them going over, though. I'm going to be honest.
Wow.
I'm going to give them 85. So what is it, 85 and 77?
Yes.
I think they're slightly better than the Angels, and I could be overrating the Angels. I just feel like the Angels have too much talent. I feel like when you compare the talent of both teams, it's neck and neck to me. I think adding Teoscar Hernandez is big for them, but losing guys like Jesse Winker hurts. Guys like Abraham Toro, who had his moments in the year. Colton Wong, how much does Colton Wong really add? Who knows? How much does losing Kyle Lewis hurt? I think a lot.
Very much.
So I'm gonna go under with 85 for them. And then the last team we have is obviously Houston, 97.5 for the Astros.
97.5. Okay. So the Astros have yourself a very, very disappointing offseason. To me. So what do we do in the offseason, Houston? We lost Jason Castro. We lost Aledmus Diaz. We lost Yuli Gurriel, Trey Mancini, and Will Smith, along with Christian Vasquez. We lost Justin Verlander. That's the biggest. But I mean, I can't blame them for not paying him what the Mets did because he is 40 years old. No offense to any 40-year-olds, but I don't think he's in his prime by no means. He did win the Cy Young, but that's in a week. If you have sub 3 ERA in the AL, you're going to win the Cy Young. It's just what it is. Who do we bring in? Brought in Jose Abreu. There's that guy.
Big.
to play first base to fill Yuli Gurriel's spot. Yuli's been there for a while. Did you know Yuli was almost 40 years old?
Yeah, you always reminded me about his age.
It's crazy to me, dude. But they did re-sign Rafael Montero, who came on last year in the bullpen for the Astros to a 3-year deal. Um, and they brought back Michael Brantley on a 1-year contract. Also re-signed Dusty Baker as the manager. Astros, we know what the ceiling is. We don't know what the floor is. Lance McCullers kind of banged up again. Seems like he always is. The rotation iffy, but their bats are gonna do enough. I mean, they don't need. I mean, they need dominant guys, and they're gonna have them because they just keep. They just keep bringing them up, and they just keep dominating.
Yeah.
So Astros, I'm going over 97.5. I'm going 1/2 over. I went 98 and 64.
How
I
many
think
wins did they have last year?
106.
Were they 106? Yeah.
But
Give
I
me
think
over.
they took a step back. They took a step
No,
back.
I'm not saying no. They didn't get better. I think, but did they get 8 games worse? I don't think so. With the Altuve injury, now
Altuve is out for
him
8 to
being
10
out
weeks.
for 8 to 10 weeks, which they're saying that's going to be like 6 to 8 weeks of the regular season, obviously, that could hurt them. They could get off to a slow start, but I feel like the Astros always find a way. They'll make do. I'm gonna go over as well. I'm gonna give them 100 on the dot.
I almost went that, but I changed it to 97.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 100. Wait, 97,
I meant what?
98, right?
I went 98. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
go
think
100.
I think they get hurt by playing a all MLB schedule. Can you agree with that? They don't get the luxury of playing the A's, Angels, and Rangers,
Yeah,
and the Mariners, who they've owned for the last 10 years or 8 years. They've owned those teams, so they don't get the luxury of playing them 19 times apiece. They have to act. I mean, they have, like we talked about, they have to play the NL East, the AL East. They obviously already played the AL East, but they have to play all. The NL's tough, and the NL West is not easy. So you have to play all them squads at least 2 or 3 times, and that can hurt you. And I think it hurts them more than it helps them. Do I think they're one of the best ball clubs in the league? Obviously, I think they're top 5. But I do think they take a step back this year, and I could still see them getting a number 1 overall spot when it comes to the playoff time. But
yeah,
I need to see more out of Jeremy Pena. I said this in my rookie and sophomore video on TikTok. Jeremy Pena is very praised right now. He's a very good. Oh, Jeremy Pena. He had a great postseason. Not knocking that, but in the regular season he did bat like 240, and his defense wasn't superb. So I mean, I need to see more out of Jeremy Pena, and I know that's a lot to say. I need to see playoff Jeremy Pena more. I need Alex Bregman to return to what he can be. I need Altuve to not take a step back because I think we can start seeing regression soon. Jordan Alvarez, if he hits over 40 homers, which I think he will, I think that's a for sure. I don't see him going under 40 unless, of course, injury, which we hope doesn't happen. Corey Lee at catcher and Martin Maldonado, I need to see a lot out of them. So I mean, there's a lot of pieces that can hurt you. But there's also a lot of pieces that, if they play well, can also help you boost your odds to be great. So, big on the Astros this year. I think they take a step back, but I'm still big on them.
yeah. And I think Jose Abreu fills a super big gap that they were gonna have. And honestly, I mean, it's with no
I think
question.
he's better.
I was gonna say, it's no question that he's an upgrade over Gurriel to me.
Right.
So
And Jose Abreu's that guy. I mean, he bats 320. He bats the most silent 320 every year that I've ever seen. Ever. I mean, he's the most underrated player in the MLB. I'll say it.
One of them. I would say he's top 5 underrated.
I mean, I remember pulling this guy when he was like a rookie. his like Chrome card when I had baseball cards, and I was just so happy. I remember how big of a prospect he was. Gonna be weird seeing him in Astros uniform rather than the White Sox.
Yeah.
Feel like the White Sox took a step back. We'll talk about that. That'll be our next division. We'll go ahead and get them out the way since we'll go AL West, AL Central, AL East, and then NL West. I guess we'll say arguably the best division for last. I think the best division, NL East.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a fun 6 episodes. This is all for the AL West division.
Mhm.
I think this is a big year for the AL West. I really do, because I think it's a year where you either see the Angels and Rangers take that leap, or we see them kind of piddle around the same spot they've been the past few years. And if they stay where they have been the past 2 years, like I predicted, then it won't be good for the AL West, because then you probably lose Shohei Ohtani out the AL West. And let's be honest, he's the biggest thing in the MLB, and definitely the biggest thing in the AL West.
Right.
So it's a big year for the division. And I think that not playing each other 19 times a year will hurt them. That's my prediction. That's all I got for the AL West. We'll be back within the next few days with our AL Central predictions. That's all I got. Got anything?
Let's
Go
go
Angels.
Angels. Is that the only team? Oh, Angels and Astros were the only team I picked over. So
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for the Rangers.
and I think the Angels will be good. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna go out on a limb. They'll finally be better than we think.
Hot take, I want the Mariners to beat the Astros for the division, finally. But I think they're 1 year away from doing that.
I'm gonna go a hot take. The Angels at the trade deadline are the second best team in the division.
That is a hot take. I'm clipping
And then
that.
they're gonna only get better from then on out. But they won't
like
win.
it.
They won't win. They'll be where'd I have them? I had them third?
Third.
No, I had them fourth.
No, you had them over the Rangers slightly.
Did I?
3 wins better.
Oh
Or
yeah.
2
Okay.
wins better. 2 wins.
Yeah, keep that. I think the Mariners will get hot at the end, but I think the Angels will do enough to be solid, but they'll miss the playoffs barely.
My problem with the Angels is this year can be whatever. Are you going to have enough money in the offseason to pay Shohei? Because you're already paying Trout that $400 million deal. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Shohei's going to touch 5. He's going to be the first player to touch 5 million because of what he can do. 500 million, not 5 million. 500 million. Because he's 2 players in one.
That's true.
So I think he's the first player to touch 500 million, and I don't know that the Angels can give him that. So, but I think the Angels will be a disappointment again this year. I will say that. I'm going to disagree with your take, but that's all for this AL West episode, number 1 of the MLB season. Let's go Rangers! Have yourself a season. I'm pulling for DeGrom because he's finally not a Met and he's my favorite pitcher. So